I had a really eye-opening moment about 3 years ago with a major health scare. And I looked around and realized that self-care is not drinking wine, eating Cheez-Its, and playing Candy Crush on your phone.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to Elevate with Yoana. In today's episode, I have a very special guest, Katie Graham. She is an advocate for all of you guys' health, well-being, and this conversation is going to be hot. Before I start with Katie, who is an essential care expert and general manager at Beamlight Sauna, I want to acknowledge you for being here and spending some time with me. Just taking these 30 minutes, maybe you're walking, you're listening to the podcast, and you want to be empowered. Maybe you're struggling with something in your life and you just want to listen. Listen to everyday women that are doing magic in this world through their energy, through their vibration, through their work, through everything that they're doing out there. My goal with this channel is to empower you. It's just really to give as much energy as I can to other women that need it the most, and to make my voice and all of my guests' voice heard throughout the world. So welcome, Katie. You are so amazing. We had a 2-minute conversation and you blew my mind. My energy, my juices just started flowing. And I'm like, I can't wait to start this interview because most women do not take care of themselves ever. And they can't sit still ever to just not think about anything. Tell me about who you are just a little bit and about your experience as an essential care specialist, and how do you think women care for themselves? Well-being, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for having me. This is just such a delight, and I'm really excited. And I hope someone out there walks away with a few nuggets because this is going to be pretty great, I think. But, myself, I had a really eye-opening moment about 3 years ago with a major health scare. And I looked around and realized that self-care is not drinking wine, eating Cheez-Its, and playing Candy Crush on your phone.
Oh my goodness. Can you repeat that? How many women sit down at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. after the children have gone to sleep and say, I need some wine, I need some snacks? Like their body is asking for snacks and their brain cannot say no, right? And they go and they just watch TV and do nothing and then just think that that's self-care.
Exactly. I'll say it again. Self-care, essential care is not numbing yourself on your couch every night with food and alcohol. It feels like a great solution, but it's not what your mind and your body really need. And I think for women, first of all, we're taught to fill everyone else's cup before we fill our own. And I'm a mom. I'm a divorced mom. So for the last 10 years, I've been raising 3 kids pretty much by myself, or at least with some help on the weekends, So prioritizing raising children, prioritizing my career, prioritizing the needs of being a mother, a sister, a daughter, a best friend, a long distance friend, all these roles and all these hats or masks or whatever we have to put on. We get lost in that. And if we're not able to fill our own cup, how can we fill someone else's authentically, genuinely with what they really need? So, when it comes to this magical world of essential care that I get to live in every day, I want to share the message that it's okay to figure this out, because so many of us are learning as we go, especially in this 35 and over, or 45, 50, and even into 60s and 70s. Like, my mom doesn't understand essential care. My dad does, which is who I learned it from, which is really another fascinating story. But, I think we're teaching generations of women right now how to do better for ourselves.
So you shared just a little bit with me something fascinating, absolutely mind-blowing, and we just exchanged a few words about how, well, let me back up a little bit. So you've been in this business, right? In the healing business and essential care for many years, 25 years, right?
Yeah, I started in the cosmetic industry, so beauty.
So and you helped a lot of companies grow, big companies, right? So you've seen the work that is needed to be put in to make a company profitable, to build a company from ground up, to sustain a business. So you've been in there. You have 3 children as well. So I'm just sharing this for all of you to understand who she is. Okay, so let's now move on. The one thing that you shared with me now, because you are right now at Beam Light Sauna, right? So just briefly, what does the Beam Light Sauna do?
So we use the power of light and we help to heal the body. And we use that in the form of infrared sauna and red light therapy. So that's whether you're looking to detox, reduce stress, renew your skin, relieve pain and inflammation, lose weight. You can burn up to 600 calories a session. Um, there are so many holistic benefits to it that when I decided to make a career change out of that high powered executive sort of corporate world and into a healthier space, this was such a natural transition. We've used red light and light therapy in the skincare industry for years. So I was familiar with that technology, but it's opened up this whole world of holistic health and healing and helping others find answers. So I helped people get a prettier face or feel better about them and build their confidence in one way. And now we get to do it in a whole different way. And at Beam, we're really creating a haven to help teach people how to care for themselves. And one of the things we were talking about is the infrared sessions are 40 minutes. And I struggle with myself. I give myself 5 minutes to check email before I turn on the sound bath. So I can shut off for that time to prioritize. So I am getting that stress reduction benefit. So I am getting, the full experience in there. But it's a learning process for all of us.
It is a learning process, and that's why I wanted the little intro about how long you've been doing this, and then I wanted people to understand what the sauna is, because if, of course, many people have heard about the word sauna, but how many people or how many women go to the sauna or go to the massage? I see a lot of women in this country go to their nails, right? I have pretty nails. You do your manicure, mani-pedi. That is a way of caring for yourself. But there's so much more than that. Usually, when they're doing your pedicure, you are on your phone. The phone is taking away your identity. The phone is taking and changing, I feel, our DNAs. And this is the more you scroll, the more your whole body, your whole soul is being wired to not living in the present moment, to not even seeing what's around you. I see women go with their children to restaurants. They all sit on their phones. They don't talk. The children are playing games while the food is coming. They don't talk. It is crazy. So what we were talking with Katie before we started recording is the importance of acknowledging that usage of phone and the incapacity for most women, regardless of age, and teenage girls are at high maximum risk, and it leads to suicide. I will repeat, there are so many suicide cases in teenage girls, so many suicide cases at the university. There's financial pressure. There's all this phone, looking at other people wear Lululemon or whatever.
Yes, the comparison on there. And my daughter is turning 21 at the end of July, which is really exciting. But we've been through it. We went through COVID and together with her graduating high school, and we've been through the social media and boys and dating. And it's hard to be a young adult.
It's very hard because we don't know how to react to that, because the parents themselves, the woman, me, you, if we are so sidetracked by everything else, technology, and we're not taking care of ourselves, we don't know how to react. And where I'm going with this is that you shared something that it was like, oh, oh, wow. You shared that people don't know what to do. They cannot relax. They're not capable of just sitting there in the sauna for 45 minutes or even for an hour, or heck, even for 30 minutes without being on their phones, which I see at the gym all the time. They are in the steam room. Kitty, they can't see the phone. You can't see this piece of phone in a steam room where you can't even see each other, and they're trying to scroll. And you said that you, as a manager and the whole team, decided, and I want to be clear on this, you guys decided to create a YouTube channel and all of that, and something for them to be able to look at while they're in there.
Yeah, people didn't know what to do literally with their hands. And so, as part of our growth into really creating a special part of this essential care community where we have the talent within our team. We have Pilates instructors and sound bath experts and all of this great talent on our team. Why not utilize that and create a platform where you can go and have 40 minutes of peace?
So while I am in the sauna, right, will I now have the capability to just watch something
Listen.
about?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen to something that's holistic, to something that's beneficial to you. But it also rooted the fact that you guys created that as a business, right? Because you gotta also perform and you gotta give the client what they want. It did come to fruition from a perspective of, it's people need something. They need to be given something, because just sitting there, unbelievable, right? They just sitting there is just not, it's might not bring as many clients.
Yeah,
even.
it's extremely challenging, or they get bored, or it's not an experience, or what that expectation is. And we are not disciplined or cultured enough in our world today to know how to slow the mind down, to know how to really disconnect. And the purpose of being in the sauna is not to be thinking about what's for dinner. The purpose of the sauna is to be healing your mind, healing your body, healing yourself, prioritizing that time. And, so whether you have the luxury of coming to a beautiful place, or you need to do it in the 20 minutes you have every morning before your day starts, there's got to be a priority to our minds and our thoughts and our bodies and those connections. And I think that phone in our hand is blocking a lot of that connection. And I think we're getting it full force as women, but then we're also having to helicopter it with our families. And I know one of the big things we do in my house is we eat dinner together, and I cook a lot because we don't do a lot of the, outside stuff. But we sit down as a family, and there are no phones allowed, and you can eat as fast as you want. You don't have to sit there the whole time, but you are going to sit with me and eat, and we're going to have that time. And it's amazing to watch the family dynamic that comes during that, but those are conscious decisions and priorities, and it takes a lot of time mapping, and I can't say I get it right every night, but how do we start our day in a way that empowers us, and how do we finish our day in a way that doesn't deplete us?
Oh, that is so beautifully said. I feel that that is the big thing that is missing. And when you look at all of these countries, there are so many, like the green zone, the countries where people live a longer life, a beautiful life, or maybe a shorter life, but a much better quality life, how do they live? What is it that they do? How do they take time to listen to nature, to hug a tree, to swim in the rain, whatever the case is? Um, there was one thing that I really need to share. I was talking to a executive in a big company not too long ago, and she actually shared something the same jaw dropping with me. She said that she doesn't know what to do when it comes to mindfulness. She thought that it was such a useless thing for someone to come into their company and tell them to think about a word or something and then just sit still. To me, that showed and proved my theory on how and exactly what you're talking about how people are consistently, and women that are, go go go, they're wired to not be able to just sit and ask themselves major, very important questions. And to your point, I don't think they even realize that because we were talking with Katie a little bit before. She was like, I don't think she even realizes that she is doing that she's not she cannot relax because she is programmed to perform. The numbers are important, all the bonuses, everything that they're getting in that financial space where you're an executive for like top company in the world. And it's mind-blowing because I didn't think that this is even existed, to be very honest, coming from Romania, right? People are way more proactive there from many, many perspectives. You do go in nature, you do just sit by yourself, you are capable to stay in a sauna, in a steam room. We go to these salt lakes, to underground salt caves. We have all these things that we do for our body.
Businesses close in the afternoons. I've had the luxury of being able to live in France, and I think some of that mentality of prioritizing your wellness is ingrained there culturally, and Americans, I think, have it a little backwards in the work first, play second sometimes.
Oh, yeah, because it's capitalism, right? There, people really look at success through not only from a perspective of finances, which is so little. Like, finances are proven not to bring you happiness. They pay the bills, they help you with all of the medical expenses and whatnot. But you could have a life where you don't necessarily need to have so many medical expenses, where you could go to the sauna, you could go maybe to a naturopath, you could go to a massage, you can spend a 1 hour per day, however you want to divide that, 15 minutes, 15, 30 minutes, however you want to do it in nature. And you can be proactive and not have to pay all those thousands of dollars on medicine or alcohol or whatever is making you completely ruin your life. So I want to ask you one thing, since you've shared this with me, and it's so wonderful that we're able to share this with our listeners. And by the way, you guys, if you're interested, Kitty's information is going to be there. If you want to know more about the sauna, the beam light, whatever that does for you, and if you are in the Raleigh area, she's in Raleigh. But there are several others throughout the United States. Definitely connect with her, connect with me, and we can help you guys out. Now, question. Some of the obstacles, right? So we're talking about how can we be proactive. What happened to you before you started eating all those chips and drinking the wine, thinking that life is beautiful after 10 p.m., doing all those things? What happened before, and what happened to get you out of that state?
My 30s were hard. So I went through a divorce. I had a baby at 36, and which rounded out our family completely. Henry's my superstar. But, I found it interesting in one of the questions about how did you choose your life path? Well, my life kind of chose me, and after the stress of climbing the corporate ladder and raising small children, and I did like Boy Scout troop mom. I did all the designer birthday parties, and I was Pinterest mom, right? Plus full-time professional woman. And it was too much. And I realized now, hindsight is 2020, as I hit my early 40s, I was in shutdown mode. I was burned out. I didn't have a lot left to give. I didn't realize how unhappy I had really become in sort of the day to day because everyone else around me was happy. So if the kids are happy and my partner's happy and my boss is happy, shouldn't I be happy too? And I had a big health scare. I found myself 75 pounds overweight with high blood pressure on the verge of a massive heart attack at 45.
Oh, wow.
Sitting is the new smoking. It will kill you.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
read some books and I got some inspiration and I started slow. I started by reframing my mornings and I started getting up an hour earlier and spend time meditating and journaling and moving my body. And I eat breakfast every day because it is truly the most important meal of the day. And I could do a whole podcast on breakfast. But it took a lot of time and it took me about 2 years and I lost the weight and I got back in the driver's seat of my life. And then I realized I wanted to make some changes professionally. I found myself really burned out at a point where either I had to take a promotion that I didn't know if I even wanted that life or sort of be where I was going to be for the next 25 years. And I fully intend to live past 100. So I have a longer career ahead of me than I have behind me. So why not take a little leap of faith after I did so much work on myself to step out into doing some things that I'm really passionate about? And Beam has been an amazing gift and I have passion projects and I love speaking in these channels and having the opportunity to touch other women.
So you decided on your own. You just looked at in the mirror one day and said,
Yeah, no, I had reached a point where I was really unhappy and I went to my doctor and he said, I'm glad you're here because if you don't immediately make changes, you're probably not going to be here in a year.
wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow.
And I had just let all of it go because I couldn't time manage all of it and be tan and be skinny and be healthy and do all the other things. We're supposed to be unicorns. How do you do all that? So I had to say, let's get off the crazy train because if mom's not here, none of this is going to work. And I had to take a really hard look at my actions and myself and get some accountability partners and get a new community and do a lot of work. And I'm so grateful that my family loved me enough to let me do it. They knew mom was on a journey and they watched it and been a part of it the whole time.
You are hitting almost all of my points, at least the beginning of my life coaching process. Because I take women from awareness, they have an ABC program, 3 months. And we start with this is where we are, this is where you want to be. And so I guide them through this. And what you said is important, changing the habits, waking up 1 hour earlier. You can definitely do it. You
You can
just
do it.
gotta write down your schedule for the next day and stick with it. And once you start sticking with something, right, then it becomes part of the new you. It's your new world. It's the vision of who you want to become. And you stick with that. And like you said, accountability is important. You need to have people that trust you and love you and believe in you and want to help you. Changing the community. You said it. I'm listening. I pay attention to details. Changing the friends, changing the community, dropping the people that are negative, that don't necessarily want us good. Just because we've known them for 40 years doesn't really mean that we have to keep them if they're not bringing any positive aspects in our lives, if they're not supporting us in our change. So that is the key, ladies. Changing, if you want change, you got to start. It's hard. It's going to take you out of your comfort level. But if you want to lose that weight, if you want to be healthy, it's amazing. It's a great, because what I do now, and I'm going to start with you today actually, is I am going to read one thing for every podcast, for every episode that is nurturing to my soul. And for today, I didn't I didn't know exactly how this was going to go, but listen what I chose for today. Learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow. Albert Einstein. There is hope, right, Kitty? There is hope for all of the women out there. There are women like you that are divorced with 3 children or more than 3 children that are in a situation where they need help. All they need to do is want to be happier. Have that hope for tomorrow, right?
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to reach out. I wish there were channels like this and people like you in my life 3 years ago, but we're here and it's amazing. And the doors are open. And all you have to do, you don't even have to knock, just flutter by or do a search, or you know what I mean? Because it's a powerful space. And another really good nugget I heard a couple of years ago that has reframed my perspective is, if you're the smartest person in the room, maybe you're in the wrong room.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, Kitty, I truly believe that your story is inspiring, but I also truly believe that you created. You are a fighter and you created this destiny that you have. And so the power that you found within did come together with the support of your children, with them watching your journey, with your family, maybe your parents and some good friends. And I love the fact that you said, I wish I had people like you 3 years ago. The thing is this: people don't even know about life coaching. They don't even know. They tend to go to therapy where they sometimes nothing wrong with therapy or counseling or anything like that. But sometimes what you really need to learn is like when you do Pilates, you need to learn how to change yourself from within. A life coach doesn't change you. A life coach is going to guide you for you to find that strength and to be able to pull it from your sleeve at any time in life. If you need it now, if you need that strength in 20 years, you're going to be able to say, man, I learned some amazing techniques that I can use. My brain, my muscle, my memory can go back and say, I'm in an impasse right now. I'm stuck. I need to shift. I need to see exactly what I need to do. And I am capable of doing that. That is why I'm so proud of what I do. And that's why I do these interviews, because women need to know that there is help. They don't need to take medicine. They don't necessarily need to be told that something's wrong with them, because that's already a super bad premise. If you're saying something's wrong and the therapist or whoever says, yes, something's wrong, let's look at what's wrong. And then let's look at what's wrong again and again and again. Well, then we're stuck on the fact that something's wrong with you. There's nothing wrong. You're enough the way you are. You're amazing the way you are. You just gotta discover that amazingness. And once you discover your little Tinkerbell inside and your soul and the joy and what you're looking for, and you have a vision and a purpose, life starts freaking happening.
It's incredible. And in fact, I posted on Facebook this morning, I've been planting seeds in the desert for a long time and they're all blooming. And I get to spend every day cutting flowers. So this has been such a beautiful rose in my bouquet today.
Isn't it? And listen to this. Now I had to turn my phone on. Of course, phone. Of course, sorry to beep. But you said something, and I promise you, we have not talked about this. But listen, do you see this? Do you see this?
Yes.
Do you see that? Talking about planting seeds in the desert. And I posted it and I said, if this tiny plant can grow out of brick and enjoy some sun, so can you. You can build a life you've always dreamed of. All you need is trust. Isn't that what it's all about?
Yeah. This was meant to be.
This was meant to be. I do have one question, well, a couple before we end. First, I want to ask you, after all this, why do you think many women, especially the overachievers, right? You were also
an overachiever. I'm a self-diagnosed overachiever.
Self-diagnosed overachiever. Why do you think many of them fear success? Or do they fear success? And what does success mean to you?
I don't know if it's a fear of success itself, because I think overachievers thrive on the feeling of success. I think it's really an underlying fear of failure. What if I don't? Or what if, and it's not even a what if I don't make this goal? What if I let myself down? What if I'm not as good as I think I am? Or, it's a lot of those like
Prophecies?
yes, that am I really gonna be able to do this? That can really hold you back. I live in a space of a lot of fear, and I constantly have to dig deep down to find the courage, because I know I'm capable, but really finding that courage that overachievers need to have to step out on those limbs, that's very scary. Um, Chances are they're going to succeed, but that kind of mind chatter to get you to actually take that step towards success can be very frightening, I think.
But why? Why do you think it's frightening? What's the worst thing that can happen? Like, don't you think that it's the script that we create in our minds, and it's not even that relevant? Because someone said you're thinking that other people are watching you, or they actually care a lot about what you do and what you don't know. They are too focused on being worried about what you think about them. So it's all this freaking roller coaster of people worrying about other people say, "Oh, am I going to be I'm scared of success." So that's my question. What is it that they're scared about, or for you, if you don't mind going down into your vulnerable spots with me right now? What is it that's going through your head when you're scared?
Oh, I think it's a lot of the what ifs. What if it all goes wrong? What if this happens? And it's not even realistic scenarios. It's just, what if I hit these bumps, or what if I'm not capable or not good? And for me, if we want to get really vulnerable, my like negative self-talk is I'm not good enough, or things aren't good enough, or what if it's not good enough and I did my best, and that is a really big stumbling block on
Are you not good enough compared to who?
myself, which is really twisted.
Okay, so you're not good enough based on the standard that you set for yourself. So you're judging yourself based on your own standard. But then don't you think that you are looking maybe online, or studying other people that have achieved? Because again, this country can be extremely pressuring when it comes to it's competitive, man. It's
It is.
competitive.
It is. And now you have to be a content creator and influencer on top of all the other hats you've got to wear. But um I think I struggled with finding my voice for a long time, and my journey over like the last year has really been about finding that authenticity to not care what other people think about me. I want you to respect me and I want you to like me, but whether you think positively or negatively about what I'm doing, who I am, and what space I'm doing it in, I can't take that on anymore. And being able to build some boundaries and some foundation to my actions and my thought process, and really aligning those together has made it easier on me, to not fear that success, but to really step into it and enjoy the moments that require the hard work, to enjoy the moments where I don't feel very confident. Like, what if it all goes horribly wrong, But to learn to love that process and not fear it.
Absolutely.
Success is a feeling to me now. Success used to be a title. It used to be a big house. It used to be, hitting benchmarks, my marriage by this day, kids by this house, this, I sort of had these preconceived notions that were programmed into me. Now, today, success is having a great breakfast, having an awesome conversation with my team, inspiring someone else, helping someone else feel beautiful, being authentic in my voice and having a vision for my life to know that it's just going to get better because every day is the opportunity to be a little bit better than the day before. And that doesn't always have to be in performance, like, oh, I'm going to do more today or I'm going to work more today. No, today is the day to have more joy than I had yesterday. And prioritizing the fruits of the spirit and other things that really speak to my soul. That's success. I sleep at night. Like, I genuinely sleep, and it's soundly and it's amazing. And I wake up and I'm excited for my day. And as a result, I get to lift everyone else up around me. And that is a refreshing place to live in every day. And that's why bringing the light to others with Beam has been such a joy. And stepping into this new community that I get to be a part of is like mind blowingly cool, And I just want to reiterate that your dreams aren't dead. And just because you're entering your late 40s or your early 50s, you could do it all over again if you want. Or you can chill. You get to choose. You're in the driver's seat of your life. But if you're stuck on your couch and you're sadder than you realize, and like I couldn't even walk to my mailbox, I was so out of shape, like there's a better way. There's hope. There's people like us out here, and get yourself a coach. Look at other ways of self-care and essential care. Get the support, build a community, build the structure that you need. It is worth every step.
I know what I'm wanting now. You said, I want to live to 100 or more than 100. Now I'm going to take all of my guests in 40 years or 50 years and I'm going to re-interview all of them. Isn't that an amazing goal for me to have with this show, with the podcast, to say, Katie, do you remember you were in your early 40s? You said something about your 150 years later, whatever, we'll be like, hi, how are you?
No, that was my radiant skin from my sauna. I'm going to look pretty good by then.
What happened? We're 100. We're going to go on this cruise in Monaco. We're going to live the life.
I love Monaco.
That's exactly what life is about. Sleeping well, peace of mind, dreaming, having fun, uplifting other people, making sure you have great conversations on a daily basis. And this feeds me with so much energy, with so much light. And I know for a fact that for all of you that are listening, hopefully by now you got to your work. And if you didn't listen till the end, you're pressing and you're listening again. So if you are a new subscriber to this channel, the channel is a baby channel as well, but please share, comment, like, do all of this to support the channel, to uplift other women, to empower them to be the best that they can. One more question. Is there a motto, anything, a saying that you really, really love that you wanna share with all of our listeners?
Well, I'm a voracious reader and I have lots of quotes. I have quotes from my quotes, but I would have to say that the one that is really speaking to my heart right now is very personal. My first career was with Estee Lauder. And she's an amazing woman and a role model for me. But right now, my favorite quote is, don't let anyone tell you you can't have it all. You can. You can build the empire of your dreams if you're willing to work.
Woohoo! Let's work, ladies. Let's get to work. Let's have a lot of fun, though.
Yes, it's your dream. It shouldn't be work.
Exactly. Take time for yourself. Be successful, just like Katie said, through the daily gratitude. Taking time for yourself. Go to sauna. Go to a massage. Have some fun in the middle of the day. Have more sex. Whatever works.
Yeah, put the phone in the drawer and have some fun.
Put the phone in the drawer. I'm going to end with that. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you and your time and your energy. For all of you, thanks again for being here. Please subscribe, comment, and I love you. And I'll see you next week. Take care.